Welcome, this is Yoga for Cancer. I'm Rebecca, and we'll start seated today. Okay. What an extraordinary week it's been. And it is really difficult to stay present with some of the energy, the rage, the despair that's being expressed violently. I read a post from Amy Wheeler, past president of the International Association of Yoga Therapists, in response to the events at the Capitol. She said, "We all have a responsibility in this life to heal ourselves and not flame the fires that bring us towards evil." As we turn to our practice to help us find a place of healing, we are better able to be of service. Viktor Frankl, who is a Holocaust survivor, a psychologist and author, famously said, "Between stimulus and response, there is a space. In that space is our power to choose our response. In our response lies our growth and our freedom." To me, that means we learn to stay in challenging situations, to be with our own despair and terror, anxiety. We learn to take a breath so that we can be effective in our work and in our interactions with others. We use our asana, the movement practice, and pranayama, the breath practice, to prepare the body, mind, and breath for the work of integration through concentration and meditation. As we go through our practice, staying connected to sensation, to our breath, will help us learn to manage all of our challenges. Yoganand, who is a student of Swami Kripalu, my teacher and the founder of Pranakriya Yoga, teaches us that when things get churned up, practice staying with whatever arises. We're going to start this morning with a pranayama, a breath training called Nadi Shodhana. It is alternate nostril breath. Excuse me. And we've done this before, but I will instruct you now, and then I'll lead you into it. So we start by making Vishnu Mudra, which is raising our right thumb and ring finger. Now, if that's challenging for you, that's fine. Use two different digits, opposing digits. It doesn't matter, thumb and something else. We'll inhale through both our nostrils and then gently close the right nostril so you can exhale out of the left. Then you'll inhale on the left and switch, closing the left nostril with your other finger. You can exhale out of the right, inhale on the right, and then switch. So we'll go through several repetitions of breath using this pattern. To get there, let's take a moment to get settled in our seats. You can choose to close your eyes or take a soft gaze and allow yourself to become, connected to the ground, to the earth beneath you, the stability, the grounding force of this giant planet we are all on. Notice the textures beneath your feet, your fingertips. Allow gravity to lovingly hold you in place so we don't spin out into the universe. Begin to notice sounds in your space beyond the sound of my voice. Can you identify sounds that are close versus further away? And then begin to deepen your breath, turning your attention more deeply. Goodness, it's going to be a bad day for coughing. Begin to turn your attention more deeply inward to your own breath. Noticing where you first feel the inhale, maybe at the tip of your nose. Can you follow the breath as it enters the body? Where does it go? Pausing for a moment at the top of your inhale and noticing the urge to exhale, releasing the breath slowly and steadily, following it out of the body, and then pausing for just a moment before the next breath happens. Slowing down the breath, being mindful of the inhales and exhales. We'll move into Nadi Shodhana, alternate nostril breath, raising your right hand. Inhale through both your nostrils and then gently close the right. Exhale out of the left. Inhale on the left. And switch, closing your left nostril gently with your finger. Exhale out of the right. Inhale on the right. And switch. Stay with the pattern. Exhale. Inhale. Switch. Exhale. Inhale. Switch. Keep going. Slow the breath down. Stay with it. Keep going with the pattern until you're ready to release and come into your natural breath, taking a moment to notice whatever you notice from this breathing practice. Nadi Shodhana is said to help balance the body, balancing the two major channels that run through the body. I find it to be very focusing. Some people find it really relaxing, and others find it really uncomfortable. So I feel like the benefits are worth practicing because the breath gets easier the more you do it. So take that with you and come back to it. For now, we'll move on with our sun breaths. Inhale and float the arms up, palms up. Turn palms down and exhale, release the arms down. Continue, allowing the arms to float up with the breath and down with the exhales. Feeling your shoulder blades moving on your back. Go to your best range of motion. Let your elbows bend as much as they need to. The point here is to connect the movement with the breath. So it takes the whole exhale for the arms to float down and the whole inhale for the arms to float up. Just a few more repetitions, uniting, yoking breath and movement. And the next time that you're inhaling, hold at the top and then lower the right arm and come up and over with the left. Maybe you can extend your arm or place fingertips on your shoulders. You can even have your hand on your hip. We'll stay for a few breaths, opening up the side body. And then use an inhale to come up and over to the other side. Maybe you have a long arm. Wherever your arm is, feel the opening from the top of your hip through your waist to your armpit, and then to your elbow or fingertips. And take your time moving side to side, opening up. On the holding breaths, as we hold in place, that's the time to feel the opening, especially. You can open between your ribs, open at the waist. What do you notice? How does the breath help you to stretch from the inside out? And this, or the next time that you come through center, pause there, and we'll continue together with twists. Inhale, arms float up. Exhale, left hand to right knee, right hand behind you. Inhale here to get tall, and then exhale, look over your shoulder, squeezing through the center of the body. Inhale through center and exhale to the other side. Inhale, creating space. Exhale, use your breath and your muscles to twist a little more. And continue. Try to avoid the temptation to use your arms to crank you around. The arms are just there for stability. Use the breath. Use the deep core muscles, squeezing in to twist. And this, or the next time that you come through center, pause here, and we'll continue together. Let's take a moment to do a little bit of seated cat-cow. Inhale and roll your pelvis forward. Open your heart, and maybe the head comes back a little bit. Exhale and tuck your pelvis underneath you. Draw your belly in. Release your head forward and continue. Inhale, rock forward, open the front body. Exhale, rock back, open between the shoulder blades. Keep moving. Using these warm-ups as a way of checking in with your body to see where you are today. If you notice any places that feel a little bit stuck, you can pause for a moment and bring a little bit of extra breath to those spaces. Otherwise, just flow, noticing the places that feel open. Begin to circle by bringing your ribs to the side and back, to the side and front, or stay with the front and back cat-cow. Continue for a moment. I need to step. So sorry about that. If you're circling, please make sure you've gone in both directions. And then end with just a little more front and back cat-cow. You may stay seated and continue, or if you'd like, make your way to hands and knees, tabletop. And we'll continue with cat-cow in that position. Make sure that you have something underneath your knees for comfort. Have your knees underneath your hips, and then have your hands under your shoulders, index fingers parallel, fingers spread wide. If it's bad on your wrists to be here, then try making a fist with your thumbs pointing forward, or come all the way down onto your forearms. Whatever is the right setup for you, we'll inhale, lift the tail, soften the belly, and raise the crown. Exhale, tuck the tail, draw the belly in and up, and release the head. Very similar movement to the seated cat-cow, but it feels a little bit different in this orientation. Take your time rolling through the spine. Let the pelvis initiate the movement. And the rest is like a ripple up the spine. The head moves last as an extension of the spine. Just a couple more. And then come to stillness in a neutral position. Stay here or extend your left leg behind you, pressing out through your heel. Try to have your hips balanced, right? So that I could put a teacup on your sacrum. Knee and toes pointing straight down. If this is too much, you can always bring your toes down to the ground. Hold here. Keep drawing your belly in to support you. Stay or add a reach with the opposite arm. And we'll hold here for 3, 2, 1, and release. And wiggle waggle from side to side. That is the technical term. If you're seated, just work with extending one leg and one arm. From here, let's pause in our neutral pelvis to find engagement in the low belly. Inhale here, and then as you exhale, think about drawing your belly in and up, but without arching your back like the angry cat. Pulling the belly in and up, imagine you could bring your front hip points towards each other. That helps you to engage a deep abdominal muscle. From here, with that engagement, then extend your leg, either up or toes on the ground. Notice if that makes a difference. Can you keep holding and drawing in and up as you extend an opposite arm? Holding here for 3, and 2, and 1. Hand and knees down, little wiggle waggle. And let's press back into child's pose. Toes together, knees wide apart. Press your hips towards your heels, and then release your head down towards the mat. If the mat is far away, stack your hands or fists, or use a block or cushion under your forehead. With each breath, allow expansion in your back body, opening in the low back, the middle back at the waist, between the shoulder blades. 2 more breaths here, and then we'll all meet standing. And if you're in child's pose, press up through tabletop. Follow me or take your own journey to get up to standing. I'm going to curl my toes under and press back into a squat. And then pressing my heels down, I'll bring my hands to my knees and walk myself all the way up. Take a moment to find your Tadasana or mountain pose. Moving my props out of the way. I keep my notes in the center of the screen, and sometimes I can't tell if my head is cut off, but it looks pretty good. All right, there we are. So bring your hands to the top of your hips. And take a moment to shift your weight from side to side. Notice if there's one side that feels a little more easy, like a position of ease. Maybe you're used to popping your left hip out, or maybe it's the right. What is it like to have equal balance on your feet? From here, we're going to shift back to the heels and then forward to the balls of the feet. Take your time, make sure that you're steady. But notice if you feel more comfortable back in your heels or coming forward, maybe the toes are gripping. Can you shift to a place in between those two edges where you're balanced front to back? It may not be where you normally stand. It may feel different. Try lifting your toes and spreading them wide apart. See if you can put them down slowly and individually. Try it again. Lift the toes, spread them wide apart. I can do pinky toes, then the next three seem to come down together, and then the big toe. Shift around one more time, finding that space right in the center of your feet. Keeping your hands on your hips, bend your knees. Let's press the hips forward and back. We've done this seated. We did it on hands and knees, perhaps. And now standing, it's the hardest. Keep the knees bent so that you can move your pelvis back and forth. And then see if you can find the neutral pelvis that's in between these two movements. So not spilling everything forward and sticking your butt out, and also not tucking and pressing under. Is there a space in between those two movements where your pelvis feels like it's underneath you, like you're balanced side to side, front to back? From here, we'll inhale and reach up or out, whatever feels best in your body. Exhale, release your arms down, reach down through your fingertips, open your palms wide, palms face forward, reaching up through the crown of the head. Bring your attention back to your feet and notice if you're still balanced front to back and side to side. Is your pelvis still neutral? Can you lift your heart, the crown of your head, and reach down enthusiastically? This is Tadasana, mountain pose. It's really a very strong pose. We think we know how to stand. This is different. This is engaged. Let's take one more breath here. And then release it and shake it out. Walk in place a little bit. Move your hands and arms around. And then step back in and see if you can find that alignment again. Building some muscle memory so that we can find this aligned posture, this balanced posture whenever we need it. You know how people will say when you get nervous, if you're making a speech or whatever you're doing, to feel your feet on the ground? That's this. Feeling your connection to the earth, feeling that strength. Take a moment to look in front of you and notice your best focal point. It's usually at the horizon line, somewhere in the center. Eyes resting on your focal point. Inhale, reach up. And exhale, release arms down and let it go. We're going to work with some stepping back postures. So come a little further forward on your mat. This back just a little bit. Okay. So from your mountain pose, we're going to step back with the right leg. Step back on railroad tracks, right? So you're not sticking your foot behind you. You're coming straight back. And then see if you can take a stance where you can turn your toes out about 45 degrees and let your heel come down. Your front knee can be bent. See if you can find that place. You may have to step a little closer or a little further away. Okay. So front toes facing forward, back toes coming up just at a slight angle. You can see my feet are still hip distance apart. We're going to inhale here and then exhale, press forward as you bend into your front knee. Inhale, release arms down, push back and straighten your leg. Now, when we're bending our knee, we're just going over our ankle, right? We're not coming to a place where the heel, let me come back a little further. We're not coming to a place where the heel comes up. Inhale in place. Exhale, press forward as if there's resistance. Let your knee bend. Keep your back heel down. So step in if it's not working. Inhale, press down and back and straighten the front leg. We'll do this a few more times. Exhale, press forward, bend the knee. Inhale, press back, straighten. Ooh, there's my knee. Last time, pressing forward and press back. Going to step back foot up to meet the front. Let's take a breath here. And exhale it out. And we'll move to the other side, stepping left foot back. Take a moment to find your stance, that little bit of a turnout so your heel can come down to the mat. Your front knee can be a little bit bent. Inhale here. Exhale, press and bend into that knee. Inhale, press back as you straighten the leg. Watch that as you press forward, your knee is tracking over your middle toes, right? So it's not dropping out or in. Coming forward. Inhale, press back. 2 more times. Exhale, press as if there's resistance. Same thing going back, engaging through the arms. Last time, press forward and press back. Beautiful. Step up. Let's take a breath. Inhale up. And exhale, release down. Beautiful. Shake that out. Take a moment to find your mountain pose once again. We're going to move into a balance sequence. So please get to a place where you have the support you need. Maybe you'd like to turn sideways and place fingertips on a wall, or maybe you have a nice and sturdy piece of furniture that's not going to tip that you could rest your hands on. Once you find your position, find your Tadasana, your mountain pose once again. Really feel that sensation of being grounded, rooted to the ground. Eyes glance ahead at your focal point. Begin to shift your weight into your left leg so that you can release the right leg to come up and out. And then place your foot somewhere along the inner leg, of the inside of the standing leg, but not at the knee, right? We do the calf, the ankle, or the thigh. Take a moment to find your balance. Feel free to come in and out. Maybe you have one hand on some support, eyes on your focal point. Begin to gather energy from the ground. It comes up through heart center and then presses up and out as you grow branches. Maybe you change your foot position here. Lift your heart. Reach out. Feel that sense of growth, of buoyancy, of reaching, even as you ground more and more deeply into your feet. One more breath here. And then exhale, hands through heart center. Bring 2 feet down. Take a moment, shift, and walk it out if you need to. And we'll continue from here. You can always have one hand on your support. Find your mountain pose, hands at heart center, Samastiti. Begin to shift your weight, sending your deep roots down through your right leg. Shore up your trunk. Get really strong and float the left leg up. Turn out and find your foot position here, not the knee. Pressing foot into leg, leg into foot. Find your balance, eyes on your focal point. Begin to draw energy up from the ground, up through heart center, and grow your branches. Maybe your toe comes down here. Can you be deeply rooted in your lower body and have a little bit of flexibility in your upper body? Take a breath. Inhale and exhale, release hands to heart center. Take a moment here. You can close your eyes or stop and grab some water like I'm doing. And we'll move on from here. So let's take a wide stance on your mat. Sometimes we are afraid to go too wide. Sometimes it's easier if we do go a little bit wider. You can really find your seat in the pose this way. Turn right toes away so they're facing the side. Press your left heel away so that your foot begins to come a little bit forward. Try to keep your hips squared straight in front of you. That's the work in this pose, is to stay right here and open through the hips. This one turns in, this one turns out. Inhale and raise your arms just to shoulder height. Turn your head and look over your front fingertips. Exhale and bend your right knee just till it's over your ankle. This is Warrior 2, Virabhadrasana 2. Can you feel the strength of the warrior? Pressing down through your feet, can you draw your feet towards each other isometrically and get a lot of engagement in the lower body, in the pelvic floor, low belly? Inhale here. Exhale, turn your palm up and reach up with the right hand, down with the left. Straighten your front leg. This is a version of peaceful warrior. You can look at your hand or you can turn and look at your shoulder. Inhale here, exhale back to Warrior 2. Inhale in place, exhale, version of peaceful warrior. Last time, exhale into Warrior 2, release your arms down and turn your toes to face forward. Going to take a little forward bend. So inhale here and lift your heart. Exhale, begin to hip hinge, right? Hinge right here at your hips. Let your knees bend so that you can keep a long spine. Bring your hands to your knees. Inhale and get really long, reaching from tailbone to crown. And then exhale and carefully walk back up. And we'll do the other side. Stepping out with the left toes, pressing out with the right heel. Your heel should be in line, maybe two heels in line or a heel to arch. See what feels best. You may adjust your foot position to feel a little more stable. Again, remember, we're trying to keep our hips facing forward as we turn out and turn in. Inhale and reach arms out. Just turn your head and look over your front fingertips. Turn your arms over with palms up, but really turn the arms over if you can. And then just turn the hands back, externally rotating through your arms. Inhale here, and then exhale and bend into your front knee. Knee right over your ankle, tracking over your middle toes. Press down and draw your feet towards each other. This is the pause right here. Find your breath. Inhale here, turn your front palm up and exhale, reach up, reach back and straighten your front leg. Inhale here. Exhale back to warrior two. Inhale here. Palm turns up. Exhale back to peaceful warrior. Inhale here. Exhale and find warrior two. Release your arms down, straighten your leg, and turn all toes to face forward. We're going to come into the forward fold once again. Maybe hands on your hips can help. Inhale, open your heart. Exhale, begin to come forward with a long spine. You're hinging at the hips, not the waist. Bend your knees. Hands can come to knees. Look down towards the ground so your neck is a natural extension of your spine. Stay here or exhale and release your head down towards the mat. Maybe fingertips come to the mat. Inhale, bend your knees, get long. Exhale in place. And inhale to walk all the way up. Exhale, release, and carefully walk your feet back in. We're going to make our way back down to the mat. Come to a seated position. We'll come down into bound angle pose. So feet together, knees apart. A lot of camera shifting today. When you come into this position, notice if you're tending to roll onto your tailbone. That's a good indicator that you need to sit up higher. So grab a cushion or a folded blanket, bring it behind you. Maybe you sit all the way up on top so that your knees can drop a little bit more towards the ground, right? See, my hips are higher than my knees, and that's the goal. If you're still here with your knees up high, try sitting up a little higher. Maybe add a cushion, or a pillow. And then sit up nice and tall, hands on your knees or shins or feet. Get really tall. Exhale, soften in your hips and see if you can let them drop just a little bit more. Inhale, sit up tall. Exhale and release, let go. One more time. Inhale, long spine, reaching up through the crown. Exhale, soften. Bring your hands under your knees and help your legs out wide. You may still want to sit on your cushion or maybe want to come a little bit in front of it. Make sure that you have the support that you need. We're going to bend the right leg and bring the sole of the foot into the inner thigh. Inhale, arms up. Exhale, drop the right hand and side bend away from your extended leg. Inhale through center and side bend over towards your extended leg. I just flexing through my feet as if I could grab my toes. Inhale through center. Exhale away. Inhale through center and exhale towards. Inhale through center, lower both hands and switch your legs. Sitting up tall. Inhale, arms up. Exhale, left arm down and come away from your extended leg. Inhale through center and exhale up and over as if you could grab your toes. Some of us can. Inhale through center. Exhale, bend away. This should open your hip in a different kind of way. Inhale through center and exhale over, lengthening the back of the leg. Inhale through center, release arms down. Bring your feet in front of you a little bit closer and let the feet drop from side to side, in and out, maybe tiny bounces. And then make your way all the way down, pardon me, onto your back. Take a moment to lie on your back. Allow your knees to be bent. Arms at your sides. Slowly roll your head from side to side without lifting it up. Gentle roll from side to side. And the next time that your head is in the center, walk your feet out to the edges of your mat. Your knees are bent. And then allow your knees to drop to one side and then the other, back to center. A couple of times to each side, alternating. Beautiful. From here, we're going to come into a twist. And I want you to remember the feeling of the twist we just did with knees wide. For this twist, we're going to draw our knees up towards our chest or belly. Bring your hands out at your shoulder height in a T position. Inhale here and then exhale and carefully drop your knees to the right. Now you'll know if it's too far because your shoulder will start to come off the mat. Inhale and come back to center. Exhale and drop your knees to the left. And again, try to keep that right shoulder down. Inhale through center. We'll go one more time to each side. Exhale, knees right. Keep that left shoulder pinned. Inhale to center. And exhale, knees left. Inhale to center. Let's roll onto our right side. We're going to come in onto our side and bring your bicep underneath your head for support. If that's not comfortable, maybe you have, I have soft blocks, maybe you have a cushion or a block that you could use instead. Bend your knees and hips so that you have 90 degrees at the hips and 90 degrees at the knees. Extend your arms out in front of you. We're going to do a twist, keeping the lower body still and moving the upper body. So inhale, reach past your fingertips, sliding your top hand, and then begin to open your arm. First, come to just above your shoulder. Exhale and lower. Inhale to open. Maybe you come a little bit further. Exhale and close. Inhale and open. Maybe you can roll your shoulders onto the mat. Lower body stays in place. And exhale to close. One more time. Inhale. You can stop anywhere along this path. And exhale to close. Beautiful job. Roll over to the other side and we'll do the same sequence. So lying on your left side, something underneath your head. Maybe it's your arm or something else. Knees and hips are bent at 90 degrees. One or both arms reaching out in front of you. Inhale and raise the right arm just to shoulder height. Exhale and close. Inhale, open. Maybe you come to shoulder height, or maybe you open a little further. Exhale and close. What I don't want to see is shoulders in place and then your arm kind of coming behind you. The shoulder needs to go with the arm because the opening is all the way across. So only go as far as you can, comfortably close on your exhale, where you can begin to open across your heart center. Exhale and close, and last one. Inhale to open, and exhale to close. Roll onto your back, maybe removing the pillow under your head, and draw your knees in, rocking gently from side to side. Keep holding on to your right knee and let your left foot come back down to the mat. Keep drawing that right side in and let the left leg come down. Maybe this is enough of a stretch for you. Or maybe you'd like to extend that left leg along the mat, pressing out through your heel. Keep drawing that right knee up and in, reaching out through the left leg. Stay here or reach so long through your leg that it starts to float off the mat. Stay here or exhale and draw your nose towards your knee, lifting head and shoulders. Squeeze into center, squeeze, squeeze, and release and let everything go. Mini Shavasana. Maybe you rock your hips from side to side. What would feel good right now? And then carefully walk your feet back in, hugging in. Maybe you rock a little bit from side to side. And then hug the left knee in tight and let the right foot come down to the floor. Seeing this juxtaposition of one knee coming in and the other going out, maybe just to the floor. Maybe you extend your leg long. Maybe you're reaching out through your right leg enough for it to float off the mat. Inhale here, and then maybe you exhale and bring your nose towards your knee, lifting head and shoulders. Inhale here, exhale, squeeze in wherever you are. Squeeze, 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 and let it go, releasing all the effort. Maybe you'd like to draw your knees in one last time. And take a moment to end your practice, preparing for our rest pose, Shavasana. Is there any other pose that your body is calling for before you come into rest? Maybe a happy baby or another twist. Maybe something else entirely. Take a moment to end your practice. And then find your comfort in Shavasana. With each exhale, allow the body to sink a little bit more into the support beneath it. With each inhale, open up the inner body, stretching from the inside out. Exhale, releasing and letting go. Inhaling, opening, expanding. Let your feet be heavy, hips heavy. Relax through your center body, let go. Shoulders are heavy, arms and hands. Let go in your neck and jaw. Let the head be heavy and supported. Relax the muscles around your eyes and between your eyebrows. Soften and expand, smoothing out your forehead. Feel the energy at the crown of your head. Relax, release, and just let go for a few moments. Something in me is being pulled out at the roots, thrashed on the ground, the tender parts bared, beaten, left to dry and blow away like so much chaff. The clear sky of mind is obscured by cloud and illusion. The moon neither rises nor sets now, and the debts of a lifetime demand payment. This is when faith is tested. The choice to discredit what I know and crawl into a hole of my own making will leave me bereft of any consolation. To be present in pain is the only path worth taking. To acknowledge light is not denying darkness, but oh, how hard it is to recall there is a choice, a chance to ask for strength and grace. And in the asking, there is the subtlest of shifts, an opening nearly imperceptible, an opening to receive. There is one ray of light, then more. I open the door, take one deep breath, and begin another day. Begin to deepen your breath, bringing small movements into fingers and toes. When you feel ready, roll to one side and pause before pressing into your hands, pardon me, to make your way back up to sitting, allowing your attention to stay deeply inward for another moment or two. We'll seal our practice with one chant of Om for the Sangha or community that we create when we practice together. If you'd like to join bringing hands to Heart Center, we'll inhale together. Om Shanti, peace, peace, peace. I'll close with Jai Bhagwan, which is the traditional closing for Swami Kripalu and Pranakriya Yoga. Jai Bhagwan means, may you be victorious in your yoga as you are in life. Jai Bhagwan. Thank you for sharing your practice with me and with each other.